everyone. Wow, the transition is super abrupt. I didn't remember that. Um, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you, Ben, for
Happy
reminding
New
us.
Year.
7th of January, I had already forgotten we changed switched to 2025. Hi, Flo, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you, Joyce. Hi.
All right. Hi, Kobe. Hi, Prole. Happy New Year. All right. So if you have any questions or if you want to like share your project, yeah, if you have any questions, please post them in the YouTube comments. For anyone who's new, the idea is that we will share a link so you can join us backstage, share your screen, and we'll do our best to help you out. Uh, Ben had a first question, which was any updates on the currency input field? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
Matt
yeah,
was
yeah.
working on it.
Yeah, my worked on it and I forgot to follow up. So let me write that so I don't forget.
Colby
Exactly.
was wondering as well. Yeah, I thought we had added it to the toolkit, but maybe we forgot right before the
Yeah, well,
holidays.
I think we forgot
Yeah,
before the holidays to add it to the toolkit, and I will definitely do that.
sorry about that, Ben and Colby. And hi, Micah. Hope you're doing well. Um, Art is asking about Copilot 2.0 release date.
Mm-hmm.
So I can take this one if you like. So we have a few users testing the alpha who they shared some feedback. I think Prolic is one of them. I don't know if you've had the chance to try it already. So right now it's a handful of users trying out the beta. We wanted to open before. We have a few things that are not dependent on us that we need to sort out because before we can open it more. But I think the idea is to open it very soon to more users.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So basically, the idea is to open to more users because we are shipping every week new features regarding this Copilot 2.0, the second version. So indeed, we have some issues to scale right now. That's going to be fixed, hopefully in the coming days. So we'll be able to bring more users, and the idea then is to release pretty soon. By soon, I mean hopefully by the end of the month to everyone. So we will keep you posted with this, I think, in the coming weeks. But keep in mind that this is top of our priority. We are working really hard to release that, and honestly, I'm really excited about this because the results are amazing. Every day brings more things to this, and so I mean I can't wait to put that into your hands and see what you
Yeah.
need to build.
Yeah, every time I demo it, I just spend like 20% of the time just saying, "This is unbelievable. This is." And I just shared again. So some of you are already on the Copilot waiting list. If you're not, feel free to like. We will release in priority to those who are in the waiting list. The idea is to do batch by batch, add more and more people to the beta. I think now we can call it a beta. It's
Yeah.
no longer alpha. But yeah, so if you haven't signed up to the waitlist, go for it. If you already have, we haven't forgotten you. And Ben is saying we have a client that we're waiting to sign up if we can get this done. Okay, for the currency input, I guess. Any
Okay.
updates on the new data grid?
Yeah. So I had many workshops on that today. So this is a work in progress. To tell you everything, the main issue we have with this new data grid is that we want it to work perfectly with AI, and so we have some issues to make it work properly. But this is just a matter of days for us, I think, to find a solution. So like the copilots. This is top of our priority. I mean, yeah, multiple people are working on that right now to make it work. So we are on it.
All right, cool. Okay, so we have a question from Prolate. Let me send you the link to join us backstage, sending this in the comments. So if you want to join us and share your screen, you are more than welcome. And yeah, Ben was saying, would love to beta for the AI, have signed up, and we'll be looking to use through our agency projects. Yeah, I mean, I think you were really enjoying it in terms of just Monday I was trying it. I was asking for a marketing dashboard, no more inputs than that, I think. And it gave me so many ideas on what to track. Just and the design was beautiful. So yeah. Excited to put it in your hands. Okay, hello. How are you doing? Oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I was muting the YouTube thing.
Oh yeah.
It's weird, like, to manage it. I actually might have just realized what might be the problem, because I don't think that I'm updating the direct object, but I have, I guess, a related question. So I'm trying to import items, and I'm seeing this very slow update of the screen, and I guess my question is, how can I evaluate like the render time so I show some kind of a loader? So let me share my screen.
Okay.
And so speaking of Copilot, I actually used the Copilot to create this, and I have a really hard time trying to make it fix a button. So, but the slowdown that I'm talking about is, hold on, because I need to actually import, and there's too many screens. Where's my screen? Do you see my screen?
Yes.
So the way it works is, so I have the preview for the import, and when I hit complete import, I've already clicked it. And now it's thinking, and it's thinking, and it's thinking. And I think it's thinking to actually render all of these items. But I don't know how to tell, like, oh, the interface is thinking of rendering them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the issue, because it needs to render many items at once. What happens exactly when you click that button? What is the workflow behind?
So what happens is, so all it does is that on import complete is, well, I had put in a refreshing thing, but the refreshing thing is like, is weird. I just put a timer in it. So import items, it just goes through the.
Can you zoom in just a little bit, please?
Better?
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect.
So it changes the variable import items, and it replaces all items to the event data. The event data is just an array of items.
Okay.
And then it changes the import step to 2, which is the display of the imported items.
Mm-hmm.
The imported items, sorry, come on, you can change it. Uh-oh, I think it got stuck.
Okay.
it's so the import items is a oh my god, this is like yeah, so here is the step 2. I guess
Okay.
it even took a long time for that. This
Mm-hmm.
is a component that accepts just that array of stuff. So this is what the array looks like. So it's an array of objects.
Okay, got it.
And this itself inside has a bunch of like input items, which are also components, so I can make them all look right.
And can you show me what is repeated in here? In the layout, can you show me the layout?
The layout.
Yeah. Yeah, can you click on layout on the top left so I could see the structure? Yeah, perfect. Okay. And so what are you repeating here? Is this
I am
investment?
repeating this whole module.
All module.
So see investment 1, investment 2. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is the whole box I'm repeating. I really do think it's because it's rendering so many things, because I also have import transactions that repeats an item, but it only has like 4 boxes to repeat. And that one, it still thinks a little bit, but not as long as this one. So I think it is more of a problem of how
Yeah.
many items of these things
Yeah,
are rendered.
absolutely, absolutely. Can you try to use this to bind display instead of conditional rendering? So I suppose you are displaying.
Um,
So maybe not this, but I think it's
on the
yeah,
outside,
yeah,
right
absolutely.
here. Well, right now it's just import is refreshing because I had
Okay.
set like a
So
variable.
could you try to
Um,
move that logic to the display instead of conditional rendering? And then it might take a bit longer to load the page, but you might have better results when you trigger the workflow. I'd like to try that.
well, I think though that the problem is that really the items get created when you do an import. So like I go through here, let me drop it in here, and the here. Yeah, it didn't seem to
Be faster, yeah, because it has to repeat
impact
and to
much.
repeat everything. Uh,
But I don't know if there is a way to be like, oh, display is ready. I don't know like how to, is there a way to ask it, display is ready?
not really because it's dynamic. So you do have to run the time in any case. You can add a fixed height maybe to save some a bit of time on what you are repeating. But in that case, because yeah, it's a lot of item in here, a lot of things that you are repeating. So yeah, to improve the performances in here, it's going to be a bit hard. And you made it a component already.
Yeah, just don't know, like, can I, yeah, I don't know, it's like this element is visible. Because then I can add maybe a loader.
Yeah, you should definitely add a loader in any case before triggering the workflow, before rendering. So it would be easier for the user to understand what's going on and then display when it's rendered.
But like I have nothing to link that loader to. That's why I'm saying like how, like what would the loader be linked to? Like, how long does it display?
You can remove the loader when your component is rendered. You know, in your component, because you are using a no-code component, right? And that
Yeah.
component, if you click edit, maybe you can try this. In here, you can create a workflow. You can click a workflow here. Yeah, if you click new, in here you've got unmounted. You see that one? And unmounted, you can like add a small delay, something like 1 second, and then you update a variable to remove the loader, something like this. You can play with that.
Okay, so I can then just trigger an event, and then the other
Yeah,
one can
absolutely.
listen.
You can also do that. Yes, that's a good way to do this. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I'll try that.
Thank
Okay.
you. Talk to you soon. Okay, so we had a couple other questions. American Recovery, if you wanna join us backstage with the link I shared earlier in the comment, the Studio Restream link, don't hesitate to join us. Backstage. That way you can share your screen and walk us through the issue. In the meantime, Ben was asking, are there any plans to add new data sources, for example, HubSpot and Salesforce?
Not in the coming days, but I'd like to know your use cases to know a bit more. Why do you want those new data sources? What do you want to build?
Yeah, interesting that they're both CRMs.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in your reply, Ben, because I think I may have similar use cases in mind.
And also, Ben, I'm curious, what stack are you using? What is your backend?
Let's see if Ben has an answer for us. Otherwise, I have several clients who want us to create customer and partner portals. So based on information that's in HubSpot or Salesforce. That's an interesting use case. Backend for these are Salesforce and HubSpot, so not me.
Okay.
All right, and otherwise, American Recovery, you had a question. I don't know if you want to jump in. I'll share the link again in the comments. And Ben is saying we will be at 10 developers by end of Q1 for WeWeb exclusively. Wow, that's really cool. And so, Ben, you work as an agency. You mentioned you have several clients, so I'm guessing you're an agency. That's really, really, really cool. And Art has a question about filtering, so let's see. Okay. Hello. I hear American Recovery. Chase?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, hey guys, appreciate everything you're doing. Right, let's see if I can share my screen here. How do I do that? Share. Hang on 1 second. Having some technical difficulty.
No worries, take your time. Okay, Ben is working with Slavo to be listed as an agency. Right, nice.
Wonderful.
And I believe, have you already filled out the application here? I'm guessing yes. Okay, artist name got cut off. We'll try again later, don't worry on me. Okay. So Diddy Board had a question about what is planned after Copilot.
Basically more collaboration features. So Copilot will bring more features with AI, you'd see. We are going also to improve the integrations with some backends, so you could have more full stack experience, also to also be able to do more and more with your backends without having to necessarily go everywhere to do things. But yeah, the next things that we are going to be focused on are really collaboration features. So hopefully branching those kind of things, so you can work in to have a better experience when you work with your colleagues.
All right, cool. And Ben is saying, yeah, filled out the application last week. We currently have 3 completed projects. That's amazing, which is going to be showcased for a project here in Texas. Very nice. All right, well, very cool. Okay, so no news from American Recovery. Art, it has been cut off. So let's have you back on, Prole, to look at your other question. All right, you're back. It's about the alert component and sharing.
Oh, so the alert component, like I think that I had posted in community also asking like if it lost functionality, because I noticed that it did lose functionality between some versions, because I had used it in an older project. And in that project, it had the ability to show like success, warning, failure, different colors. And the new version just shows one message. And somebody was asking about like how to create the alert. And I was saying, well, too bad we can't really actually share components with each other, because I can just give them the older version and they can use it. So I don't know if there is a way to basically copy and paste from projects that are between different people to share different components, instead of, because in theory in marketplace you can do it, but this is not a marketplace item, so it's more like a share a snippet kind of thing.
Yeah, so indeed you cannot copy paste a component like this. This is a feature that we will work on to import and export and import those kind of things. But what you can do, you can still use the marketplace, but instead of make it public, you can have an unlisted library in here, and then you can share the link, so they can add that library. Then once it's added to the project, they can just import that component in their project. You've got edit and import and edit button. You can do that, and then you can remove it from the marketplace if you like.
Oh, okay. I'll try it out. Yeah, because I had it from a different project and it was still working, so I end up just like copying it into my new project for myself. And I was thinking like, oh, if we already have it,
you can.
I can share it with
You must
them.
have an unlisted select input when you submit, and then it's going to be just for you, just for those who have the link.
We have the link here.
Okay.
Cool.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Happy New Year, Esnane. Good to have you here. All right, if we don't have any other questions, we have a couple of outstanding ones from American Recovery and Art, but I don't know if Art, you're back if you want to try again. Otherwise, we're oh yeah, and probably is asking if so Flo will add you to the Discord for Copilot feedback here.
Sure.
And so American Recovery's issue is about the Xano date field being null in so yeah, the date field being null in Xano, and using WeWeb to build the in date field for the date field. My guess is that the formatting, like the formatting of the date you're sending to Xano is not what Xano expects. If you're using timestamps, Xano expects like 3 zeros more at the end of like the standard format, I think. So I think it's a formatting issue. So what I would recommend if you're watching now or if you watch the replay is to look at the data that when you make the API call from WeWeb in your network tab. So in the inspector in the network tab, look at the API call and look at what is sent by WeWeb. Or in the logs of Xano, look at what is being sent by WeWeb and check that it's. I think it's the format of the date that doesn't match the format that the field that Xano expects. So you might want to play around with that. I think it's a common issue, so you might want to check the Xano forum as well or our community. I know I had the issue with the timestamp, and the solution was adding 3 zeros at the end. When sending the data from WeWeb. So hopefully that helps. If not, feel free to post in our community with like screenshots. That will help you. And Snain is asking, I want to ask how to find clients as WeWeb developers, which is the best platform for that. And Ben is saying we are hiring if you're interested in exploring working with us on the projects we have in our pipeline. Very cool. So Snain, like, I think one of the things that we do quite often is I would recommend you reach out to Slavo at weweb.io. He's like, head of partners and partnerships. And the idea is that once you build a relationship with us, that we know a little bit more how you work and stuff like that, what projects you have experience with, we can potentially like reach out to you when we have one such projects. Otherwise, follow Slava Pastor on LinkedIn and Twitter. On X, he often like relays requests from clients who are looking for WeWeb developers. So that's a good way of getting new, of finding clients or working with Ben. All right, okay, so artist saying there was a long delay in his connection, don't want to waste anyone's time. We'll get it figured out. Okay. Tell me to send money for early access. That would be me. Please send me money. No, but we're gonna open that to more people on the waiting list. It's out of our control. Unfortunately, we would have done it sooner, but we're very excited about that. So you'll hear from us soon. And yeah, Archie, so there was a question about filtering with a multi-select. Actually, let me see if I yeah, feel free to post in the community. I can, and yeah, I think we can definitely, someone will be able to help you in the community for filtering on multi-select. For sure. But the idea is you'll need to use the ID of the items and filter on the ID. I think that would be the easiest way. Okay, I think that was it. I think I got all the questions. If that's unless anyone has something, another question. Oh, Prole is asking, how can you link to a section if using the sidebar?
What
not sure what you mean.
Yeah.
Let me have you back on. Yeah, you're back on, Prole.
So when you are selecting like a regular link, and I'm trying to find if I have an example right now, but I can make up an example. So when you're using, and I think that my computer is performing slow because it's I have too many windows open and on the video, but so when you have a link, like when you're using the standard link interface,
The link to.
come on, share. When you link to. So even, and I'm just gonna add a button was creative. So when you have a button and you have a link to, and you can go and link to a page, it has this portion where it's like section, right? But that's actual section. When you're using a sidebar, you usually want to link to a location within a section, right? Because this whole side here is one section, and I might want to link to this bottom part,
There should be several sections,
right?
probably, no?
Yeah, because like you have the side menu and then you have title and let's say sponsor. The sponsor is this whole section, but I want to link within that sponsor section to something inside. And that can be often because I'm using the sidebar, not the top bar. If I was using the top bar, it would be easier because then you do have each individual section as a section, right? But when you're using this setup, all of your sections kind of have to be in one container.
Ah, okay, because you're saying you have the main container section and it's taking.
Or do people usually also create each individual section as a separate container and just apply the margin on the side?
Yeah,
I don't know how.
that's a way to, yeah, you can definitely do that. Otherwise, you're gonna have
Okay.
to do it manually, meaning that you need to add ideas, to a specific element within your page, and then it needs to be in a query in the URL when you change page, and you have to have a workflow on page load to scroll to that ID. So it's a bit of work if
Okay. Okay, but I guess split them. I don't know. I didn't think about splitting them into separate
that's the
containers,
easiest
just
way
one.
to do that, indeed.
Okay. If nobody else has questions, I have more questions.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I guess it's more, one of them is a little bit more of a feature request or like, or am I missing something? So when I go and I add something like straight out text, right? Just plain old, just text. By default, it comes up with some things. And is there a way to customize on a project level what these defaults are?
Yeah. What you can do is you can have this text define everything, and then on the option of the text, you can right click on it. Really on the element, and then you have add to library of save to assets. Save it to assets. You can give it a name like formatted text or something like this, or styled text. And when it's done, on the add panel, you're gonna have your own text template. Yeah, you can.
You do like me. No, this is a search. Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely need to include this. Yeah. Yeah, you need to give it a name now. So you can also add an image if you like. I think the screenshot is working if you click on the well. Okay, and now if you go back to the add panel, when you click add, instead of using the usual one, you go to your assets, and you should see your text in here somewhere. Yeah, and if you drag and drop it, here you are. So it's what we call this templates. You can create your own templates, and with predefined styles and even bindings. Even workflows and formulas would come with that. You would have that little pop-up coming when you drag and drop it, telling you if you wish to have the workflows and formulas coming with it.
Okay, then I'll go with the, like, I think it would be nice if that's like more of a feature, because I know that like certain things like in here you can go and choose couple of things, but I think that you should be able, like on a whole app level just choose what your like default text color and some of those default things, because I think that is easier, because then I have to go and for each one to create a template where it should be like, oh, these are my default things, and you can apply to them. I mean, sure, I can apply a class, and I've done some of that, but it just, for one-offs, it's weird. I was just surprised that there was no like global settings for some of these things, and it seems like it should be a global setting. Just kind of like what is your default font? You should have default size, default color. So just
Okay,
a
but
thought.
duly noted.
Yeah.
But we will work
Yeah,
more
in the meantime, I understand. I was just thinking like,
yeah, no, I totally understand the need. So it's a good idea, and I know we are going to work again on design systems also. So I said that we are going to work on collaboration features, but also on design systems. So maybe this is something that could be at the project level, and we can think about it. I was more thinking about tokens and classes, but maybe we could add a bit more, like indeed a default size and a bit more things. So could be linked to tokens also. So it's definitely
yeah,
it's a good idea. I would definitely think about it.
yeah. I think that as you guys think more about the actual libraries and kind of like scaling, because like templates and all that other stuff, yeah, I think that some of these like default things, it's just like nice to have. It's like usually when you start with a library, I think that you kind of have your defaults and then you go from there. So it's future, and I'm not asking for
Yeah,
it now.
totally get it. Thank you for the feedback.
All right, cool. Thanks.
I'm gonna go through all of them. I have a whole list. I have a document specifically for questions for WeWeb and Xano, and so I have a bunch of lower priority ones from before. So I'm gonna go through that if nobody
Okay,
has
go
any
for it.
questions. Um,
Do you want to go ahead?
I'm looking through my list. Can go and ask again about my spacing. I never figured out, I haven't gotten back and figured out spacing between the items for the scroller thing. Remember my issue where the scroller, where if I only have two items, it kind of spaces them out to the sides, not in the middle.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I haven't gone back. I was gonna try and rebuild the component, but I actually went with like a slightly different version that was easier to
Okay.
implement for now. But yeah, uh, I have a lot of, and I don't remember if I had asked that before, but I have a lot of tooltips, for example, and the way I currently handle that, I just want to check if I guess it's like that's how I should handle it, or if there is a better way to do it. So each of these little eye icons, for example, they like it has a tooltip that shows up. And right now, the way I have handled it is I have created a object that's called tooltip strings that basically has a key and a value.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I am assigning them right now is through a function that all it does is like, so it's just get tooltip. All it does, it goes and picks up which tooltip to display. I wasn't sure if there was like a better.
No, it's really a
This
nice
is
way
all.
to do that.
Okay, and there is no issue of like, I think I'm gonna probably have like 200 of them. I set it up right now where it's
No issue.
I think it should change.
No issue at all. You can. You can go ahead
Okay.
with this.
Yeah, so I saved it on preserve on navigation, but not saved in local storage because I don't think that I need that there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No need to no. On the navigation is enough. No need to save that on local storage.
Okay. So the other part is I think I'm gonna have to move away from automatic fetching
Okay.
of collections because some of them get called for no apparent reason from time to time. So where should I ideally call them? Here, let me just go to a page. So I should set a on load, but should it be in the workflow? Should it be on page load, or should it be on page load before fetching collection?
That's a very good question because the answer is it depends. So usually on page loads, it's a good practice. Sometime when you wish to save some milliseconds to load pages, you can load some collection before page change. So I know some users who really want to improve the performances. Sometimes they'll, when while overing a card or the link, they are fetching the collection, uh, they toggle preserve on navigation, and then they make the page change and the data is already there. So sometimes they prefer to load data um, when the user is not expecting to have something loading, so they prefer to do that. So you can specify those kind of things. Sometimes it's better to do that when you click on a submit button, a form, when you have a loader, because this is a moment where when the user is okay to wait, those kind of things. So that's why it depends, but usually do that on page load is a good practice, and then when you want to improve it, you can load those data at a different moment.
So not before fetching collections.
Normally, if you have all your collections fetching manually, it won't change anything because you won't have automatic collection fetched. So so this
Okay.
this this thing is to when you need to specifically run some business logic before fetching those automatic collections. But in your project, as you don't load anymore automatic collections, it doesn't matter. I mean, it will be done at the same time.
Okay. So then I guess from that perspective, since I have multiple collections to fetch, I still should be using the fetch collections in parallel and not in the individual fetch
Absolutely, yes.
collection.
Yes, it's better.
Okay.
Except is you have dependencies. If a collection needs some time to data from another collection, you need to be careful and to load that after. But
Yeah, no, this is the individual page. So at that one, it's like, it's not really like, I just need the ID. And actually, from that perspective, I end up doing two things. So I end up including the ID, where else that setting? The ID as part of the URL. I think it's this one. I end up including it here as part of the URL where the ID is coming in, as well as passing a parameter like that. And I think that right now I'm actually using the query parameter instead of the page parameter. Is there an advantage to one way or the other?
honestly, it's quite the same. It's more elegant to have it in the path like this. It depends. It doesn't change much, actually. Usually, when you share a link, it's better have the parameter like this instead of having, a variable in the URL, but it's not that a big deal. I mean, it's the same. It's the same. It's more.
Well, what will I do if I wanted to actually make this URL prettier and actually include the name in the path instead of 0? How then I would not be able to access that, right?
Oh, no, it's the same. It could in here you can have a string, a name instead of a number.
Just quickly, Aisane,
Okay.
can you clarify this question? Are good for any kind of application on WeWeb? Are you referring to the discussion about fetching collections, or are you referring to something else? That would. Oh no, sorry. I see. It's. Sorry for interrupting. I see it's the result of a previous comment. I'll answer your question afterwards, Aisane.
Oh, okay, I guess you can answer it. I have more questions. Go ahead and answer those. I'll go.
It's a fairly quick one. It's
Read them
about
out.
so Asnain is saying, I think more advanced and detailed video tutorials are needed for WeWeb. What do you think? Is there any plan for that, or because the WeWeb channel videos are good? Yeah, so I'm not sure afterwards where it goes, but yes, there is a plan for that. There are plans for that. Matthew recently joined us as education lead. You may have seen a couple of his videos pop up on YouTube, so he'll be making more of those. Right now he's focused on putting together videos about what is building what does it mean to build a web app? How does the web work? How to prompt AI in a smart way so that you get good results, stuff like that. So still fairly beginner videos at first, because a lot of our videos are out of date, and they will be even more out of date in 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks. So there will be first a revamp of the educational content for beginners, but yes, Matthew has a much more advanced profile than I do in terms of, he's more technical than me, so he will be able to do more advanced tutorials, and we're very excited about that. I think you'll enjoy his teaching style as well, so yes, that is coming. Thanks for asking.
Speaking of tutorials, I had just seen in the community today that I guess you guys had posted more documentation back in December on components. And it was very helpful because honestly, I was trying to figure out what the hell was this drop zone workflow execution all about, because I was trying to figure out how to handle the date range component. I think that I had asked about this before, like date range, where there's I want to do like year to date or prior year and all this other stuff, and you cannot access the component from within itself. So I end up doing something. Actually, I can show you what I end up doing. It's not the most elegant solution, but it's a solution. But now I realize, after I read the extra things around components, that I can use a drop zone action, which will probably be a little bit more appropriate than how I did it. But it was very helpful to have like more documentation around the components.
Well, thank you. We will tell Matthew.
Oh, I think I responded to the in the community, the post. So I don't know if it was Matthew or whoever was responding.
Do you want to ask another one of your questions? Prolin, do you?
Yeah, so I do have a question that I had marked before, but then I guess I don't know where I'm not using it. I was using the format date. Here, I'll actually put it up. But format date kept complaining because I guess it tries to execute the formula before checking. And I don't know if I have a working example of that, but I had taken a screenshot. Here, I'll share my screenshot. So this is kind of like what I was trying to do. like I was trying to evaluate if the date is null, because otherwise it was completely complaining and just display a dash. But each time I was trying to do this, I was getting this value, like first parameter must be a string, because the date was a null, and I assumed that this would work, but I wasn't sure how
I
we should
assume
check for
date
this.
is a variable. It's something because it's not colored. Yeah.
Your date is just in the screenshot. Your date is not a variable. So so the formula thinks you put text without adding the quotes.
Yeah.
So you know, because variables, it would be green otherwise. Do you understand what we mean?
I'll have to try it again. I think I gave up on this, and I think I actually created like an action to format date, and did it in JavaScript, not in this, because in JavaScript I can more easily
right
check.
now you're just not telling which date is null. You're just it's just it's just letters for the interpreter.
Okay. The other question, and I don't know if it's just me or not, but every time I try to select multiple items and move them together, it doesn't work. Is it supposed to work?
No, that's why you need to wrap them into a flexbox to do that. Yeah, you cannot do it. We don't have the feature yet.
Okay. Related to that, is there any easy way to like move things up or down, like up or down in the column, or you just have to like try and hopefully manage with drag and drop?
To drag and drop in the layout. Usually it's easier when the design is tricky, but you cannot do that with arrows on your keyboard if this is what you mean.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Like, or was there like a shortcut?
You need to move it yourself with the mouse.
Okay.
All right, nice. Did you have anything else?
I think I kind of exhausted my questions, and I need to look at I think that my biggest question, and I think I realized for the import, that I think I was not assigning the array correctly, because what I was getting is when I go and delete an item, I would lose all of my edits from the previous one. So maybe I'll ask you guys next week after I try out something. I just realized that maybe I just need to refer to a different array in order to have the correct result that I was trying.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and we'll see you next week. And in the meantime, community.weweb.io, of course, we try to be there as much as possible. And otherwise, other fantastic users help you out.